Welcome to a very special edition of the Armstrong-Williams Show. There's so much in the media today around the world about transgenderism, and we wanted to invite someone from that community that I really have developed a very good relationship with over the years. She has always been willing to come on the show to talk about these issues, and she's joining us today in an exclusive. Taylor Leanne Chandler, thank you so much for joining us. Talk about your early life.
When I was born, I had ambiguous genitalia. The doctors didn't consult my family. They chose to do genital mutilation surgery to make me binary. So the saying was, sew a hole or make a pole. And so they sewed what would have been some version of a vagina shut. And that started my childhood. I was made binary, assigned male at birth, and then as soon as I could walk and talk, they knew there was a tragic error. And I never said I wanted to be a girl, I just knew I was. But the funny thing was, it's like, I didn't play with Barbies, I didn't wear dresses, I liked G.I. Joe, I liked Tinker Toys, like, there was nothing unique beyond that. It's not like I gravitated all towards girl stuff or boy stuff, but then started surgeries to be able to pee. I had 22 of them before I was 18, just to be able to pee correctly. And, you know, my birth certificate was changed as a minor. My name was changed as a minor before I had any corrective surgery. And keep in mind, in the beginning, in the first trimester, we're all female. If your brain differentiates first, and then your body keeps going. What if there's a disconnect there? The reason that I identify as trans, in addition to being intersex, is because the basic definition is I'm not the sex I was assigned at birth. People want to bring up this major difference between sex and gender. You know, when I was growing up, I don't remember there being gender anything. It was just sex. They used to call it sex reassignment surgery for trans individuals that, you know, were just born traditionally from an anatomic standpoint of being a boy. You know, they always say born a male, born a man. I always think to myself, oh my God, my mother's poor uterus. You know, we're born children, we're born human. Sex is assigned, and it's assigned based on genitalia. And to think that that can't go wrong is just absurd. And so, you know.
But you're rare, you're unique. What has happened to you is less than a fraction of the world.
But there's a lot of people that are like me, but they live stealth. We're not going to know about them. You know, because of all the rhetoric and politicizing of this issue at this point, it's in someone's best interest to be stealth and not live out loud, and not everybody's meant to be quote unquote an advocate or an activist. So why, you don't go around saying, hi, I'm Armstrong, I'm straight. So why should someone have to go around saying, hi, I'm Taylor, I'm trans?
What is the difference between you and someone, let's say, who's homosexual?
Homosexual is typically a gay person. You know, that's about who they're attracted to, who they want to go to bed with. You could be trans and be homosexual. You could be trans and be a lesbian. You could be trans and be pansexual. You could, you know, gender has nothing to do with who you like to go to bed with or who you're attracted to.
Well, when did you find out who you were attracted to?
I've always, as far back as I can remember, liked boys or men. I mean, I don't like boys now, but, you know, I like men. And it's never changed. And normally trans women that liked women before their transition continue on to like women after it. It's not like changing your genitalia automatically changes what's up here and what we're attracted to.
You know, some people would argue that because you lack real self-esteem, real self-worth, you want to use the law to make people respect and accept you.
I don't know that I want to make the law do anything. I want to make sure that the laws aren't put in place that are blanket to include all people. I think that when it comes to certain things, there should be standards of care. There should be protocols. I definitely agree with all that. But at the same time, a lot of it should be a case-by-case basis.
But doesn't that sound like you want special rights?
I want the same rights, and right now we don't have them.
And listen, no one really cares about whether you're transsexual, pansexual, or whatever sex you call yourself, unless you put it in their face. It's as if your solid minority want to dictate the school policies, the courses, how you accept it, the discrimination laws, that everybody has to pander because to make you feel good about yourself.
I don't think what's taught in school or history should be altered in any way, shape, or form. We've done that so long, especially with Black history. It's been whitewashed, plain and simple. And why would we then, in turn, want to prevent people from knowing about this? I'm not saying in kindergarten they should know anything more than what's taught in a regular curriculum, but that there are people that identify as this, this, and this without it being in the sexual form. As they get older, plain and simple, when you get your shot for HPV, they want you to do it before you're sexually active. The age they do that at is like 8 or 9. So if you think that kids aren't involved in knowing who they are, knowing who they're attracted to until they're 15 or 16 or 18 or 27, that's not what statistics and data show us.
I do find it fascinating that you were given the name David at birth and you had no say-so, nor your parents had any say-so in this. I do find that interesting. Taylor Leanne Chandler is our guest. I'm Armstrong Williams. We'll be back. Welcome back to the broadcast. What about these read-alongs, where these drag queens go into the classroom and try to teach kids? Are you in support of this? You do believe that everything, it seems as though in that classroom, it's more about them. If they want to entertain, why don't they go to the nightclubs with people, somebody that age group who can understand? Why the classroom?
I don't know that they're teaching anything. I think they're coming there
They're
as
reading
an
with
entertainer.
kids.
But they're there as an entertainer. Even people that think, oh gosh, no, if you bring them to one, they end up enjoying themselves. So why wouldn't that be fun and silly and goofy for a kid?
But not in the classroom.
But
Why not somewhere else?
Well, it is everywhere else, but why not in the classroom?
But what if parents don't want that?
Parents didn't have a say in what was taught in school. If you want that kind of authority over what's taught in school, put your kid in a private school.
But what about the parents that can't afford it, that don't want it? You seem to be reasonable.
But why don't
The reason why I
it?
sit with you is that you really seem to be very balanced, have it together, nothing affects you. See, I don't think you could be offended.
But I have privilege. I have privilege as being white. I have privilege as being white going through my transition. Black trans women are being murdered still at alarming numbers. And so I use my privilege to be anti-racist, to be pro-Black, to support and give voice to women that aren't heard. They're the ones that are in need.
This is taking an interesting turn. What makes you think because you're white and a woman, you're privileged?
Because I am.
Who says so?
Society tells us that. Everything that I went through, as hard as it was, I still did it being white.
So you're telling me, this is fascinating, that you as a trans and being white, the experience is totally different from those who consider themselves to be minorities.
Absolutely. Because I don't have to tell you, in America, we do not value Black lives from the top down.
But I don't agree with that. I think that's nonsense.
I see
That's
it
from
every
your
day.
experience.
I serve wards 6, 7, and 8 in DC every day. I see it firsthand.
I think it's more about class.
It's about opportunities,
Yes,
about
yes.
investing in community.
What does the trans community want?
That's a good question. I think to just have equal rights and to be able to live their life without constant invasion of other people's, most often, religious views.
What about morality? Does morality matter to you? Do you believe in God?
I do. Absolutely.
Do you believe in his commandments?
I do.
So you believe there's such thing as sin?
Absolutely. Of course.
You do. Mm-hmm. And so then what is the issue with religion? But I do separate religion from morality, but I want to hear your definition. What is it about religion that scares you as a trans person?
For a lot of people, religion is used as a weapon, and it's used to put people down and oppress them. And that's not right. That's not what God's about.
I think for anybody, what religion does. You don't want the laws to support what some legislators are saying. We don't want our laws to support behavior that we believe is immoral.
But I don't think that's why laws should be enacted based on religion or morality, because who's the person that's qualified to dictate what morality is for everybody?
I think it's good we're having this conversation. You are a student of the Bible. That would surprise a lot of people.
I graduated from evangelical Christian school.
You did. What has it been like for you in your relationships?
As far as?
Once they found out that what you were born with and that you're trans, does it impact the longevity?
I've never told. Until I was outed in 2014, I didn't share that information
because
with anybody.
You were outed with Michael Phelps.
Correct.
You were in love with him.
I was.
Yeah. And once he found out that information, did it change the relationship?
No, it didn't.
It did not. So there was nothing in your relationships where someone could tell that maybe, and I don't want to say you were different, but you were special.
Not that I'm aware of. It hasn't happened in 49 years. So, but now, because my life is so public, I don't have the choice to not tell somebody.
Hold that point. Taylor Leanne Chandler is our guest. She's trans, but she's much more than trans. She's a human being with a career who does it very well confident. She says she doesn't want special rights. She just don't want to be discriminated against based on a choice that really was not hers. We'll be back. Don't go away. Welcome back. Here's what, for me, as a broadcaster, bothers me. When you say that people hate you, where does that come from? Just because someone doesn't want their kid in the bathroom with someone who's a biological male doesn't mean they hate you. It's not even about you. It's about their kid.
But in order for that to happen, we'd have to police bodies. We'd have to police all bodies. So what are we going to start stripping down all girls to see what's wrong with this picture?
But Taylor, let me stop you. There have been situations in this country where men have called themselves trans and have gone into these bathrooms and other places that have raped and violated these kids. And you know what happens when that happens? That becomes the story of everybody. And then the lawmakers step in and say, we've got to do something about it. There are people, they're not like you, that would exploit these little kids and take advantage of them.
But someone that self-identifies that doesn't have medical intervention is extremely different. Predators are going to find a way to be predators regardless. But to put blanket laws in place against all trans individuals because of a few people that are abusing the quote unquote, I guess, title to gain entrance or access to girls, other girls, is wrong. You don't really see it where someone says they're trans that's free and in the public and then goes in and commits crimes in a bathroom. Normally it's the other way around. Trans individuals, 9 times out of 10, are the ones that are raped, beaten, and have crimes committed against them, not the other way around.
You and I will agree on this. Biological born males can never have children.
Correct.
Biological women who are born as women, there's always a possibility, even though there are some medical issues that prevent women from having kids, they always have the possibility of being mothers.
Well, now the way you said that is a little different. Trans women can be a mother.
Now, define a trans woman to us in your definition.
A trans woman is someone that doesn't identify with the sex they were assigned at birth.
But they're still a woman.
Yes.
Okay, so we agree. Why is this movement to believe that men can get pregnant?
Because there are trans men that have gotten pregnant and given birth, and we have to respect
They were not men, though.
who they are.
They're women. We don't agree. They're women. And this is the point.
But they're men.
Why muddle the argument? No. They call themselves whatever. But down here, they're a woman. Because if it's not happening here, if you don't have that vagina here, in the beginning, you're not having no baby. People understand that.
So if I took your penis away from you, like it was gone,
I can't have no baby.
would you be a woman?
No, I can never be a
You'd be
woman.
a man without a penis.
Absolutely. I would
If
be a
I-
man without a...
If I put your penis on your sister, would that make her a man?
No, she's
That
still
would
a
make her a
woman.
woman with a penis.
No, she's still a woman. If you put a vagina, whatever, she's still a woman, a man. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting... Oh, wow. I forget I'm on camera. That's a
a good
first.
thing.
That's a first. I'm so sorry. I'll sit here for a minute. I'm sorry. Back to you. You are what you're born with. It doesn't matter.
But don't you see how problematic it is to call someone that's presenting as a woman, lives as a woman, and then you turn around and say they're a biological man? It's derogatory, it's the intent behind it.
I understand that. But you know what? If you want me to refer to you as a woman, you're a woman. If you want me to refer to you as a man, you're a man. But in terms of the science, I'm only talking about the science now, you're either a man or a woman. I don't understand why it's necessary to have this conversation, to get people all whipped up in shape, because what it does, it further marginalizes your community.
I don't know how that's possible at this point. The only thing that marginalizes it further is to be black.
Black and trans. You really feel sorry for black people, don't you?
I don't feel sorry for black people. I empathize.
Empathize. And we'll be back with some final thoughts with our very special guest. I really appreciate your sitting down with us today, talking about the trans movement. What would you like for people to take from discussion today?
That we're more alike than we are different, and if we concentrate on the things that make us alike versus the things that make us different, it would just be a much better world for all of us.
And just because someone says you're trans doesn't mean you're liberal or conservative, because you care about the pocketbook issues and what's going on in the world with the wars and the conflict and the change in the economy, just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
In fact, trans doesn't even begin to define you.
No, it's like all the way at the end of any adjective you could put to describe me.
Talk more about that.
I mean, first and foremost, I'm Taylor. I'm a strong woman. I'm an educator. I am an advocate for mental health. I'm an activist for gender rights. I mean, those are the things. I believe in social justice. My idol in this world is John Brown. I'm not your average chick by any stretch of the imagination, but I want to be remembered as a servant leader that did good for my community, not just community that looks like me, but the community as a whole. That's what I want to be remembered as.
Did you ever want to have children?
I did, and I could have through IVF. I didn't have ovaries, but I do have a womb. But the thing is, by the time that I was ready to actually have them, life got busy. My then husband, his work life was busy, and it's expensive. It's like $10,000 a pop, And there just never was a right time. And then I was at an age where I didn't want to be like 65 sending a kid off to college. And so it didn't happen. But I am a mom because my now husband has 2 children. So, you know, I've always gravitated towards men or dating people that had children. I love children. And one of the most hurtful things that's ever happened, and it's just my insecurity, plain and simple, is when exes go on, remarry or whatever they do and they have a child. It's like a knife in my heart, because I wish that could have been me.
Wow, and you've been married how many times?
I'm on lucky number 7.
7 times?
I have.
You got it going on like that?
I like cake.
Oh my goodness, I'm stunned. You got it going on. Listen, we're out of time. She's got 7 times. Come on, Liz Taylor. Oh boy. Listen, thank you so much. 7 times. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm out of here. Good day, everybody.